Welcome to the Brickie Experience today, everyone. And I am so honored to have today's guest. Today's topic is ambition. And my special guest is Brickie alumni, Faith Spencer. Welcome, Faith.
Good to see you.
So glad to have you today.
Yes.
And so I do mean this with deepest admiration that you are a distinguished graduate from here. Tell the Brickie audience what year you graduated.
I graduated in May 2019.
All right. So, Faith, could you define ambition for the Brickie audience?
Yeah, so ambition is basically you driving towards a challenge, with determination and motivation.
So, determination, motivation. So, now I'm going to take you back to high school. And when you were attending high school, what actually fueled your ambition for success when you were attending here?
Yeah, when I was here, it was my parents, my family, them wanting to see me succeed.
Right. And so you have a lovely family, and they played a big part of it, didn't they?
They did.
All right. So let's talk about some of the things that you did in high school.
Yeah, so I was a student board representative my senior year of high school. I was a co-president of DECA. I participated in theater freshman and sophomore year. I also did track and field, shot and discus, Brickie leaders. I'm sure I did some other things at some point.
Well,
the list goes on.
It really does. And you did an internship in the technology department.
Yes,
And then you competed in something called Innovate Within.
I did.
And let's talk about Innovate Within and what transpired from being in a Project Lead the Way class that brought you a lot of success.
Yeah, so being a part of the Project Lead the Way class, I was able to get into a group, and we were tasked with coming up with a product that would benefit society. And so in doing all of that work and developing, well, one, it was purely at that point, it was just for a class, right, a grade. But when we started working and we came up with this problem, like, hey, there are a lot of people having accidents on bikes when they are out on the road. How can we fix that? How can we solve that? And so we decided to come up with an early warning system for cyclists. And so once again, it was just specifically at that point in time for a grade, but then our teacher took it to another level and said, let's enter into this competition. And so he tasked everyone, preparing a pitch and participating in this competition called Innovate Within. And at the beginning, still just for a grade, but once we competed and we prepped and we went to regionals, which was hosted at Purdue Northwest, we took first place in regionals. And at that moment, I feel like everything changed, right? It went from being just a college or a class project to something that we could potentially turn into a business and also make money off of. And so having that experience, it took us to state, in which we placed third in state. And then we were also able to compete in another competition called the P&W Big Sell, which was not just for students, but for any startup business. And to be able to take third place there, it was just like mind-blowing. It was a mind-blowing experience, and it really got us interested in networking and being interested in entrepreneurship. And so being around that cohort of people with the Started Up Foundation and just getting more and more involved, we were able to travel to San Antonio and Austin, Texas. And
You were hanging out with a bunch of entrepreneurs that were
Yes.
really tech giants, Google being
Yes.
one of them. And you actually racked up quite a bit of scholarship money.
Yeah, so from the competitions, we raised over $10,000 in the span of 4 months.
That is incredible. So you graduate Hobart High School, and then you go on to, where did you go?
Purdue University.
That's right, Purdue. Boiler up, you
Yes.
Boilermakers out there. That's my alma mater, and I just love Purdue. So what did you major in, and when did you graduate from Purdue?
Yeah, so I double majored in cybersecurity, network engineering with a minor in organizational leadership, as well as the certificate in entrepreneurship and innovation. And I graduated May of 2023.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. And so, just an incredible journey that you took and a lot of hard work. And so after you graduated, what do you do for your career? What are you, where do you work now?
Yeah, so I work out in Chicago for a consulting firm called West Monroe Partners.
And what do you do there?
And so I focus on specifically, I'm a technology consultant, And we work with Fortune 500 companies in defining like their tech strategy. If an organization decides to acquire another organization, how do we merge their technologies together, right, without it affecting the day-to-day work of the employees? Disaster recovery work, cybersecurity strategy, the list goes on.
That is really quite incredible. And guess what? I love that you were in our technology department interning with us, and that sparked a little bit for you and all of the things that you did while you were in high school. And extremely proud of you, Faith. So your hard work is just so evident in all that you've done. But you haven't really stopped there. And so one of the things that that I find about you is that you just keep taking on different things to make the world better. And so besides your career in Chicago, you started a company called Ironworks.
Yes.
And you know, it is pretty significant. I'm going to have you share what's Ironworks and what's it all about.
Yeah, so now Ironworks is a nonprofit business incubator aimed to focus on minority students and small businesses when it comes to teaching them about the foundational principles of entrepreneurship. We like to consider ourselves the launch pad to starting a business, right? If you have a product, a service, and you're not too sure, even an idea, right? And you're not too sure exactly where to go next, you can come to us and we'll help you with that.
Right. And so what type of sessions do you have coming up at Ironworks? Because I think it's really important for the audience to know about that, because you are reaching out to the youth that is in Gary and just neighboring districts as well.
Yeah.
And so what is it that you're trying to help them? What do you have coming up?
Yeah, so for one, most definitely want to highlight the fact that, you know, it's not just Gary, Indiana. We support all of Northwest Indiana. We've been out in Michigan City. We've been out in East Chicago, Hammond, right? And in terms of what's coming up next, the biggest thing is the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. We secured one of their entrepreneurial support organization grants of $40,000 to launch a 2-day entrepreneurial summit for Northwest Indiana. And so we'll be partnering.
That would be this right here.
So this is actually our group. We were out doing some research and development, but essentially, yes, those are some of the people that we are working with, yeah.
That's pretty terrific.
Yep.
So when I think about this, you're working in Chicago now, but you have this nonprofit, Ironworks, and you're just trying to make a difference for people where they are. How do you stay so ambitious without overwhelming yourself? So, I mean, I can look back at your high school career, your career at Purdue as a student, and now you're a professional and you have this nonprofit as well. How do you have all this ambition and not overwhelm yourself?
Well, there's two things. One, I have to recognize like why I was put on this earth, right? What is that reasoning, and being able to live that out truly. And then two, when I see myself getting overwhelmed, I kind of, as a metaphor, the thing that I like to think about is I'm too far into the forest, right? I have to kind of like zoom out and see like, where did I start? Okay, I'm here and I'm trying to get there, right? And so that kind of rebuilds my my battery, if you will. It recharges it because it's not. I'm still not at that start point. I'm somewhere in the middle. So why stop now? It keeps me going.
Would you say that you're able to have more balance when you take that approach?
Yeah, most definitely. You once again, you kind of just have to really sometimes step back and take a breath, right? And it's okay to have those pause moments because if you don't, then you will get overwhelmed, and it's like I don't know what I'm doing anymore. You start to spiral, and it creates so many different things. So you do have to take those moments and just kind of like go back to the drawing board, or even if you have your goals written down, right, go back and analyze those and see what has changed since you started working towards that goal.
That's really very great advice. I appreciate you talking to the Brickies about that, because sometimes we are so busy and we can become overwhelmed.
Yep.
And so you have to step back. It's great advice, and just kind of be still for a little bit.
Yes.
So when you start to think about your future, what continues to fuel your ambition?
Watching other people's success from the things that we do. we've conducted so many workshops over the course of the summer, as well as facilitated conversations in high schools, and seeing students go from I don't know what I want out of life to this is what I want to do. I don't know, it's kind of like mind blowing to see the reaction, or being able to have a community event where you're giving away free sneakers, and it's like, whoa, like I got a brand new pair of shoes, like this is really cool. And them being thankful for that and having the opportunity to connect with others and build relationships. Those are the things that I am personally like all about. I really enjoy seeing those opportunities, and I also enjoy seeing people be able to create their own things. So being able to see that just makes me happy, but it also fuels me to keep going, because it tells me that I'm marching in the right direction on what it is that we're doing.
Well, you definitely have a heart of gratitude, but I also just see this spark in you to have others have a spark in them so that they can be successful. What started off, to me anyway, would be that you started off in a class that you had to do an assignment,
Yes.
and then now you are helping other people become entrepreneurs, or seeing that they can have a career and be very successful, but you challenge them to be ambitious, where sometimes they might just be stuck. And I think that is such great purpose on earth, is to let others see what is so incredibly important in life, is to serve other people. And you can be successful at that by working really hard and having ambition. And I do think that your journey is really incredible. So what do you love about being a Brickie? I mean, you are, to me, just an incredible individual that's graduated from this high school. What did you love? What do you love about being a Brickie?
I love the relationships I built, the teachers that taught me, right, really getting to know them, and learning from them, and seeing the experiences they had and how my experiences could be similar, right? Just being able to learn from the teachers that were here in the school district, as well as just the students that I connected with, the friends that I made, and the opportunities I had. I was very, very grateful for that. Yeah.
I do love that. As I'm talking to the Brickies out there, sometimes when you're in a class and you just think, I have to get the assignment done, it can turn into something so much more. And Faith is a really good example of that, because when you're in school, you're really testing the waters on what do you have a passion for?
Yes.
And you happen to be in that technology, engineering, go to Purdue Polytech, and end up with all these degrees and certifications there. But didn't stop you from pursuing to help other people with the gifts that you have, if you would, in life. So I want to thank you for sharing your journey with us, and I really can't wait to see what else you're going to do, Faith, because that's just who you are. And there you have it, Brickies. You can say, all my life I want to be a Brickie, work. But you have to have ambitious goals. And Faith is just one of these people that you can admire, just like I do, and she could be a role model to all of you on how to take advantages of all the opportunities you have here in the school city of Hobart. So I encourage you to get involved, because you never know where it's going to take you. Be committed to ambitious goals, and when you do, success can be yours. Faith Spencer is one of these examples that's out there making a difference in the world. Thank you for joining us today, Faith.
Thank you.
And so I would just say, you can also, don't forget to ask for help along the way. Notice Faith said she had a huge support system. And if you put forth that hard work and get the help you need to be successful, it's going to happen. So thank you for joining us today, everyone. And we'll see you next time on the Brickie Experience. But remember, be excellent on purpose, and you get to be successful by working hard in life. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us.